This exercise is going to build some strength and awareness and control in your shoulder blades to build your shoulder blade mobility. So the movement we're really working on improving is shoulder blade elevation, which honestly a lot of people struggle with because we've been told so much in all of the rehab movement and fitness industry to keep our shoulder blades back and down all the time, but your shoulder blades come up here because they're supposed to at times. So we want to come up here and make sure we maintain that range of motion and that we have strength built there too. So for this exercise, you're going to need a couple of yoga blocks, maybe even a couple more depending on your flexibility. But the position we're going to get into is sitting. If you want to make this a little bit easier, you can get a little bit more elevated to be higher, but sitting is going to make you get into more of your deeper range of motion. Now, the way I have the yoga block set up is so that I can be in a really high elevated position of shoulder shrugging or scap elevation. If you don't want to go that high because it bothers your neck or you don't have that mobility, then we can do it from here. But this will be the progressed version. The higher you can get your arms and shoulder blades up towards your ears, the better or more difficult and challenging the exercise is going to be. Once you have found your position, we are going to do PAILs and rails. The key here, because there are other things that can move, is to not try to actually lift yourself up. This is not supposed to be an arm and elbow exercise. It's supposed to be a shoulder blade exercise. So that should be something like this type of movement where you're trying to just press the shoulder blades down. So while your hands are here, the movement we're thinking about when we are thinking about crushing these blocks into the ground is shoulder blades pressing down, and you should feel all of this stuff start to contract. So for that PAILs contraction, you're going to keep yourself in this position and start to press down with those shoulder blades pressing down. And you're just going to ramp that intensity up to the desired amount over 10 to 15 seconds and then hold for that 10 to 15 seconds. Once that is done, then we're going to slowly relax. And then you're going to try to pull your shoulder blades higher into your ears. So this is where we're just actively trying to squeeze these upper trap muscles to work on strengthening them in their shortened position. This can feel weird at first, and it might be bothersome for some people's necks. So as you're doing this, we want to try not to go into a lot of neck extension. You want to try to keep your neck long while we're doing this, so we're actively just using our shoulder blades and not other joints as well. But just like your PAILs, we are going to contract the rails slowly, then ramp that intensity up over time, over 10 to 15 seconds to the desired intensity, and then hold that for about 10 to 15 seconds. And once you have finished that contraction, that would be your one round of your PAILs rails. So depending on what you're doing for your training session that day, that might be all you're doing, or you might be doing additional, but that would be one round. So the goal of this, again, is to just build some strength and resilience in your shoulder blade muscles to learn how to own a little bit more of shoulder blade elevation. This should build some awareness. It should feel really nice, feel really challenging, but over time, you should be able to integrate this more into your other active movements. So make sure that you progress these into loaded movements too.